All right. What is up, YouTube or social media, whichever one this is going to go to? Maybe all of them. Not sure yet. Uh, it's 4 days post show, the Detroit Pro. A lot of thinking of what I should do next. Should I do another show? Should I jump in and do something quick, do something later in the year? And after talking to a few people, I decided to honestly go back to the Detroit Pro next year. Like I brought my best conditioning ever, my best look ever, but it was on the smaller side. So no matter what, I need to add size because I don't want to run into myself being small again. It took me down to like 216 pounds to give the best look I ever had, which I was super happy with. Super, super happy with. I would never say I was disappointed because it had people talking about me. And that's the first time that somebody's like, "Oh my God, this dude is in crazy shape," and I loved hearing that. Because whenever you're shredded like that, people know you put the work in. You dieted your ass off, literally dieted your ass off, and so the show was ran so great. I had so much fun, like, and I just say, forget the placing. I got 11th out of 15th. Everybody, a lot of people or whatever, oh, you should have been higher, you could have been higher, shoulda, coulda, woulda. No matter what, 11th, if I would have had eighth, it's the same thing. You didn't do that good. But for me, I did really actually do good for me personally, not being on stage for so long and going against some big ass dudes. So I always have to keep that in perspective. And age, I'm 48. I'm a little bit older. Uh, I've been a pro for a while, but there's a lot of things that kept me from being able to be the best pro I can. And one is I just didn't try hard enough. Didn't diet hard enough, didn't work out hard enough. Uh, I was starting my business. It's been up for 10 years now, but I've been starting my business at the same time that I turned pro. Now my business is flourishing. I own a gym, 23,000 square feet, full of equipment, a ton of gym members. Gym is doing very well. So now it's time for me to focus on bodybuilding at an older age. But I'm going to prove to everyone. I was on stage at 216. I'm a show. Even though I'm older, I still got genetics. I was always a thick kid. you know, um, and I'm gonna put that 20-year-old effort. Yeah, when I was in my 20s, early 20s, like I worked out like a crazy horse, monster. I won't be able to lift as heavy, shouldn't, but it's time under tension, is lifting smarter, supplementing better, dieting better, staying lean, and put on some quality tissue. That's what it's about, and enjoying the experience. I'm going to have a lot of my clients do the Detroit Pro also. And anybody that watches this, if you're a coach, a trainer, or an athlete yourself, I'm telling you, amateur or pro, do the Detroit Pro. It is an amazing show. From the hotel, the venue, the way it's ran, the things that they do, it's different from other shows. It just didn't feel like a regular show. You really felt important, um, and that's something that's actually important for me. Is you want to feel like you mean something to the people that that's promoting the show. They come and check on you, ask you you're doing good. How are you? They know you by name, which was surprising, but it really felt good. But I cannot wait to get back on stage, well, do the business of getting back on stage, hitting that diet, killing the diet. Um, a lot of people know how to diet, but they let themselves down by, when the weekend comes, they just eat whatever, and and I used to be that person. I used to smoke a ton of weed and eat everything. Like I stopped smoking weed a couple years ago, and then it took me like a little bit over 2 years of trying to build to get back on stage. Because once you lose it, you don't work out like a bodybuilder, you don't eat like a bodybuilder. It is so hard to come back. You got to go twice as hard because your muscle just doesn't come on the same the older that you get, you know, but it's still worth trying. I always said bodybuilding was the one thing that I understood, that I knew how to do it. You know, there's many things in life that a person just isn't that good at, you know. But bodybuilding, everybody can be good to a certain level. Everybody can get in the best shape of their life. Everybody can compete. Everybody can do well based off of the shows they pick. Even as a pro, sometimes you pick certain shows that's not as hard, because you got to be honest with yourself. Like, look, they got different tiers, different levels of pros. I say there's three levels. You got your ultimate, like Samson or Martin. That's a tier one. Then you got, other guys, that's tier two. And then you have your tier three. Tier three, they're not bad. I consider myself a tier three right now. You're better than everybody walking on the street, but you're still not going to go to a show and people be worried about you. I'm gonna change that. I want to do a string of shows next year, and I want people to be like, "Damn, Walter's in it," you know. And that was my goal for this year. Is I wanted people to really see that I can come in condition. I've never had that, and that was my main goal. It was a 2-year journey, and I accomplished it. I wish I could have got a better placing um, for the effort, but I still won because I accomplished what I set out to do. Now it's just time for another goal. I got to eat real good after the show. I got some IHOP, got some sushi. Now it's time to find a baseline, stay there at that weight, build. Once the body acclimates to it very well, add more food, a little bit more structure in the workout. And I'm going to do things that I haven't done before. I'm really going to write down, my workouts, chart it. I've never charted it. So I would just come in and do my workout. Like, I know how to work out, but I want progressive overloads and do the things that I need to do to make sure I'm pushing myself to the ultimate goal, and that's to be great on stage. So I can't wait for what this year is going to bring. There's a few cooking things. I tried some stuff. How I made this last night. I made it. It was supposed to be like a cheesecake, and you use egg, yogurt, and whatever other. There's three ingredients. I don't know why I can't remember the third, but it came out like yogurt. It damn sure wasn't cheesecake. It wasn't nasty. It really wasn't nasty, but it wasn't what they said it was going to be. I bought a flat iron grill. I'm going to make different foods and make my steaks and all of that. But I bought it off of Overstock.com and then read the reviews on Overstock. I should have read the reviews first. Sometimes I'd seen a flat top. I said, "Oh, $42. I want it." Yeah, but and I don't know if it's gonna come or not. And when I read the reviews, people said, "Man, I ordered stuff 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and they still don't have it." So I was like, if I don't have it in a week, I'm gonna just buy another one. Just go to the local store that I could just pull it off the shelf. Because even if you buy one for $200, that's nothing. But I try to save money at the wrong times. This prep, I bought so many things. I went out and bought a brand new car. My last prep, several years ago, I ended up buying 5 cars in one year, old school cars. Tried to buy them, flip them, sell them. Lost $20,000 because I had no idea what I was doing. I had some guy working with me. You get prep dumb. That's what I call it. You just do the dumbest shit. And like you stay up all night, you know, scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, and whenever you search for something, you know how it is. Will you'll start seeing it. Like I don't know how many watches and shoes and everything that I'm looking at. Like even still now, days later, I'm trying not to look at any of them because they just keep popping up. And I'm like, look, I'm out of prep. It's no more dumb buying. I'm not doing any of that stuff. You know. But come to close, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for what this year has to bring. I'm gonna put on some real weight, and I'm gonna keep everybody into my journey. If I got one person watching, I'm good with that. At 2, 3, whatever. But I'm gonna keep this video vlog thing. I don't even know what the hell you call it. You know what I mean? Like I'm old school, but it's social media to me. I'm gonna just keep the social media and me talking. Maybe some people start watching, get some laughing, because I say silly shit, don't even know what I'm gonna do sometimes. But until then, I'm out.